Well, first session of 2026, let's go and chase some mangrove jack. So the plan was to throw the weedless rig goats across the surface at any mangrove jack looking structure, so rocks, laydowns, undercut banks mainly. I also had the 3.5-inch prawns elite rigged on a weedless 1/8 jig head, just if I felt like they might be there, but not hitting the surface, so I could sink it down a little bit. But cast after cast, and I couldn't manage to get a strike from a mangrove jack. So I've just been fishing the 3.5-inch elite, and there's lots and lots of jelly prawns around, but I'm not getting any fish. So I think I'm going to match the hatch, and we're going to go down to the little 2.5-inch prawns on a 1/12 jig head, just to try and get a few fish and maybe get a little bit of confidence, because I'm not catching anything at the moment. So let's go match the hatch and we'll see how we go. Bream and mangrove jack will hang out in the same types of structure. So casting a 2.5-inch prawn into structure like this, you're still in with the chance of getting a mangrove jack, but you're increasing your chance of getting bream. There's just way more bream around, and they can be easier to tempt to eat. So this one up into the snag, and he's cracked it straight away. I actually thought I snagged and then there was a fish on there, so I thought it might have been a little mangrove jack, but no, it wasn't. It was a little tiny bream that stitched me up. Look at that. That's funny as. There's another little bream on the prawn. So the bream weren't exactly firing, but I was getting a few fish. So the little prawn matching the hatch really got the job done, and it was just bream, pretty consistently through the morning. Now with this kind of fishing, it doesn't take too long until you also come across a flathead. So this was a pretty solid flathead that I ended up picking up on the edge. So that's a pretty decent kind of flathead. Really pretty colours on that one. But we've just been throwing that little prawn up there, chasing some bream just to get some numbers on the board, and along comes this guy. Get that hook out. Yeah, there we go. We'll get him back in, I think. Okay, mate. Whoop. Once that tide started running again, there was bait flicking everywhere, so I went back to throwing for some mangrove jack and in any bait that was getting harassed, but it wasn't to be. So turned a little jack session into a micro bream session, and we got some fish on the board for 2026. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll get a few more videos up in 2026.